Good day. How's it going? Happy May 7th to you. I hope my audio is coming through crisp and clear. Usually does. If it doesn't, we'll work it out as we go, I guess. I hope the weather's good for you today. It is a very, very nice day here on the east coast of Canada. In fact, it's the first proper warm day I think we've had in a long time. Feels like it's been wet and damp and yucky for just what feels like forever, but I think today's like 17 or 18 degrees. But I'm used to the wet stuff hailing from the UK originally, but there we go. Anyway, look, enough of the general chit-chat. Let's jump into it. Welcome to KupoCast. My name is Alex Main. I'm the organizer of KupoCon, and I'm here today joined by my moderator team who are going to introduce you to the latest information from KupoCon. Thanks for joining me, by the way. I know that Sundays, the weekend in general, aren't busy, but it seems like the best kind of time to grab everybody. And if you're watching this on demand, I hope the information is useful to you, even though you were unable to join us live. If you do hear any random birds tweeting and kids screaming and whatever, I've got my window open. It's a lovely day, as I said, so letting some air in. So we've got lots and lots of information to share. I've got too much, really, but I'm going to do my best to blast through it. Fingers crossed. Anyway, let's hop right in, I guess. If this looks slightly different to you, and it's slightly different to me this time, I feel kind of like I've gone back to school. Usually when I produce KupoCast, all the images are done in Photoshop and then just loaded into OBS, but this time we're using PowerPoint, and I feel like I'm back at school. It looks exactly the same on your end, but I assure you it's totally different on mine. So anyway, look, we're going to jump straight in. The first thing we need to talk about is Pom². And I think you will be happy with the information I have to share. So let's jump into Pom² first. Now, as you know, we announced Pom² many months back, and the reaction to it was phenomenal. In fact, it was fantastic, to be fair. So I'd like to provide you with a number of updates about Pom² and kind of what's been happening behind the scenes, etc. And I want to talk about print packs. I want to talk about 101 things, to be honest with you. Just one moment, please. So let's go for it. We're going to jump right in. And we're going to obviously acknowledge the fact that this sold out in literally just a few hours. Wow. We couldn't be any happier with the outcome of Pom². Now, there was a lot of concern internally with how close it was to FanFest. We were concerned that it was going to be an issue. It wasn't, in fact. We sold out in like 3 hours, I think it was. Was it 3 hours, 40 something minutes? Or maybe it was 2 hours, 40 something. It was very fast. The patron pre-sale was incredible, and I was blown away. So thank you to everybody who purchased a ticket. Special thank you to everyone who purchased a ticket during the pre-sale as well. It was our largest pre-sale. Really quite something, and I'm truly thankful for that. So thank you. So because it sold so quickly, and we kind of knew that it would, I wouldn't say we knew it. I'll say that we had an inkling that it would sell this well, and it did. So what we've decided to do is we are going to rent some additional venue space to try and make things a little bit smoother. And, kind of ease the traffic, because, Kupos are busy. They're not, giant MCM busy where there's like 10,000+ people or whatever, but it is still a very busy venue. So we wanted to try and relieve some of the kind of the stress points around the venue. So we are renting extra space, and by doing so, that does give us a bit of an advantage, because it means that we're able to increase tickets just slightly. Now, those of you who know Kupo well will know that it's very important to me that we respect the pillars of our event, which is to make it intimate, inclusive, and immersive. And I don't want it to be a cattle market. I feel very protective over that. So we are increasing the capacity just slightly. And I want to let you know that we are still far below what the fire limit restriction is for this venue. So we are just adding a handful of extra tickets just to allow those who may have somehow overlooked the fact that tickets were going on sale, or perhaps they're brand new to Kupo with all this kind of hype and talk that they may have just been introduced to Kupo for the first time. So we are going to be adding more tickets, and I am pleased to confirm that will cover almost all ticket types. Not all, some will. I think the standard ticket is the only one that we were unable to restock. However, we are going to be restocking Community Day as well. And if you see a higher tier that you'd like to upgrade to, you just simply log into Eventbrite, hit the transfer button, and then you're able to change to whichever ticket you like, and you just pay the difference. And those tickets will be added right after this cast. So congratulations. You have found out the secret piece of information that nobody else knows apart from the people that are watching this, that we will release more right after this cast. If you wish to upgrade while there are still tickets, which I don't think will last long, but you can upgrade. And if you need to make any name corrections on your tickets, please do that before June 1st. As you know, we do not allow the reselling of tickets. The reason for this is that people do try to scalp, and they also do try to sell multiple tickets to the same person. The same ticket to multiple people, and it can be quite bothersome when people arrive and we're trying to scan people in and we find out that some naughty person has tried to sell the same ticket to 3 different people. So make those changes before June 1st, please. I know a lot of you have been asking about volunteer opportunities, and that's understandable. I know a lot of you want to get involved, so I'm pleased to report that volunteer applications are going to open tomorrow during the day. That's May 8th, and we aim to select everybody by the end of the month. We want to have a healthy mix of people who've volunteered before and those who are volunteering for the first time. So how we do it basically is we put individuals into 2 pools, returning and new, and it's important to us that we get a good mix, because we don't want to favor people that are, have done it before. However, we do need people who are experienced and understand how Kupo works. We do expect demand for volunteer spots to be incredibly intense. It was for Glasgow. That's why we've decided to open them as early as we have. In fact, actually, because this event has sold so well, we've been able to really accelerate much of what we would do. So if you would like to volunteer, now is the time to step forward. If you are in a position where you want to volunteer and unfortunately you are not picked, no issue. Anyone who is not selected will be given an opportunity to purchase a ticket regardless of if there are any left. We've actually kept a very small pool available for declined volunteers, so there is that backup option. Okay, so let's move forward. Somebody's asked if it's possible to downgrade a ticket. It is. You will not receive a refund for it, to my knowledge, but it is possible to downgrade. I wouldn't recommend it, obviously. Okay, so, and obviously if you do have questions as we go along, please do just throw them in the chat there, and I will do my best to answer them. Just keep in mind that there is about a 60-second delay between what I'm actually saying right now and what you're seeing. Let's move on. So Community Day. There's been a lot of talk about what Community Day is, what's involved. I have covered it on previous KupoCasts, and it is on our website, KupoCon.com/Pom². But I'm going to provide that information again to you, just so we're all on the same page and we understand exactly what Community Day is. So Community Day is on the Sunday. It will run from 10:30 a.m. until 4:30 p.m. You do require a ticket for Saturday, and Sunday is just an £8 add-on, which is crazy. But I'm very pleased with what we've accomplished with this. It's located in the same area where the last UK pop-up was hosted. So if you didn't go to the pop-up, don't panic. It's not in a different venue or anything. If you were stood in the ballroom, let's say, actually no, let's say you were stood in the lobby looking at the check-in desk, which there are 2 check-in desks, which just is very confusing. But if you're on the level where the restaurant is and you're facing the check-in desk, you have the hall where the main KupoCon event is to your left, and to the right down a hall is where the location where the pop-up was. So for the community day, we're hosting it not in the champagne suite, but where the pop-up was. And the reason for this is we're kind of considering it more of a hub rather than an event space where you're going to want to stay all day, because a lot of the day is going to involve doing quests, maybe even heading off site. And the hub is for KupoCon services. So what kind of services are those? Well, if you're not familiar with KupoCon, things like Chocolina's, our merch desk, Owaka's, which is our guild desk, Huntmasters, the Bank of Mog. So if you are familiar, all these names are you know exactly what I'm talking about. But if not, just head over to our website, KupoCon.com, and if you go in the menu bar there is actually a glossary that you can read and see all the different sections. But it will be the hub. All the typical KupoCon services will be available to you. Some of the quests are better saved for Community Day as they require more effort. Yes, they do. So we are going to mark certain quests in the quest log, and we're going to suggest that you do them on Community Day. However, you don't have to. Perhaps you're just there for the main day. So for the main day, just focus on the quests that give you the most gil and require the smallest amount of time, etc. But we will mark some quests in there that we think are better saved for Community Day because they involve more of a time commitment. If you're not familiar with KupoCon and the quests and the hunts and all these things, I'm not going to go into it today. Just do a little bit of research. Go on our website, like I said, look at the glossary. And actually, I'll be learning a bit more about Kupo a little later in this episode. So if you feel kind of out of touch or out of your comfort zone, don't worry. Lots of information to share, and it will all become very clear to you soon. I see people asking about volunteers regarding Saturday and Sunday. We're going to need volunteers throughout the entire weekend. So when the volunteer form goes up, you will see options for Friday night, which is pre-registration, Saturday all day, Saturday evening, and Sunday. So all that information is on the volunteer application. So with Community Day allowing us a little bit more time, we're going to try this. We thought it'd be interesting. It's kind of inspired by Final Fantasy XIV. We're going to add a sightseeing section. I'm not going to touch on it too much, but it involves sightseeing kind of key points around the venue and in London, and you'll be rewarded with extra gil for doing so. So look out for information on that. Now, as has been mentioned previously, I'm just going to mention it again, that special guests are not required to attend the Community Day. It is written into their agreements that they don't need to be there, but some have asked if they can be there. Some have asked to request a table so that they can still meet with attendees, sign things, but do not... I will not guarantee it. Do not rely on it. Please plan accordingly. But when we do know who will be around that day, we will certainly let you know. Something that was mentioned previously, but it's been a while since I've mentioned it again, is that we are going to have an auction house for KupoCon merchandise, and that it will be done with gil, not with real cash, so save some gil for this. There will be some unique items being auctioned off during that day, and the time slot for that will be, you'll be informed of that prior to the event. So we now move on to a little bit more of the specifics for Community Day, and I really want to talk about the community panels and the community interviews. So we've actually rented an additional space that is up one floor. We've done this purposely. We wanted it somewhere that was out of the way, that was quiet, and wouldn't be distracted by the ongoing experience of the community day. Now, if you are not familiar with the pop-up area, or maybe you are, it's a really nice area. It's kind of like a L-shaped room that goes through to another room where we had our party last time. We'll be using that too, but it also has some really nice outdoor space that's private to us that we'll be using. But we knew that there would be a lot happening, a lot of movement, a lot of noise, so we've rented a room up one floor that can host about 150 people, and we're using it for our community interviews and panels, for which we're going to invite you to apply to be involved with. So maybe you want to do a interview or a panel on Final Fantasy XIV. Perhaps you want to do it on, I don't know, mechanics of a game, something to do with Final Fantasy in any form. You think that it would interest other people, you can apply to host such an activity, which is something that we haven't really done before. So we're quite excited by this. Now, clearly, this is also the location where the auction will be hosted, so it seems like a good spot for that. Now, the thing to note, and this is very important, is that if you have an NPC ticket, you cannot apply to host one of these community interviews or panels. It was very clearly outlined to you when you purchased that this is a non-playable character ticket. You are there to observe and to enjoy, but you cannot participate in this form in a stage activity. So applications for that are going to open in just a couple of days. Now, originally we did say that they were not going to open until July. But again, as I said, tickets sold so very fast, so we've been able to kind of accelerate our plans, move a little bit faster than we originally planned to. So it's an opportunity for you to get involved. So May 9th, that application form will open. We'll post it across Twitter and Facebook and Discord, and we'll also make it nice and clear on our website where to find it. We'll link to it directly off the Pom² page. So look out for information and apply. And we hope to have them all reviewed and selected by the end of June. If there's more than one person participating, be sure to tell us that, any requirements you might have, etc. And the great thing about doing events like this is because, in the past we wanted to do more niche topics, but a niche topic will not interest 800, 900, 1,000 people, right? So hence why it's niche. So a space that can host 100, 150 people makes this a lot more comfortable, a lot more manageable. So look out for further information as we move forward. Each session is going to be 30 to 45 minutes, not too long, but also not too short. We have some flex. If you feel that you need a little bit less or a bit longer, just let us know. Now, each community event is going to have a separate ticket. Before you freak out, it's not for money. There's no money involved. It does not involve cash. You purchase your tickets with gil. And it's going to be a really small amount of gil. It's 10 gil. If you've done a quest at Kupo before, you know that 10 gil really isn't that much. So those tickets will be available from Owaka's, and they're going to be available from 12 noon on Saturday. That gives you a little bit of an opportunity to get some gil in your back pocket. And then it'll be first come, first serve. So you can come up to the desk, you can buy your tickets. And as I said, we're going to be selling about 100 to 150 for each community event. And you may be thinking to yourself, well, that doesn't sound like a lot. It actually is quite a comfortable amount when you think that we're going to be hosting, at least 7 or 8 community events that day. It really isn't that unmanageable at all. Nobody's going to want to do all of them. As I said, pick the things that you'd like to do. If you're unable to grab a ticket, don't panic. We will be doing standing room tickets. Basically, you just turn up on the time slot of when the event is, and if there is room for you, you can purchase at the door. But obviously, we will be prioritizing ticket holders first. We thought this was a really unique way of doing it anyway. Now, what are we going to do with that gil? Well, we're going to give it to the people that host it. So, 150 people, 10 gil a pop, that adds up. That's 1,500 gil. And we're going to split that between KupoCon as a kind of a hosting fee. I mean, it's not real money, so we can't do anything with it. But then the person who's hosting will get the other 50% of gil. And then they can use that to buy things from Owaka's. And it's kind of cool because, they give back and we give back, or you give back, I guess. So I think this is kind of cool. Merchandise. I hope that covers everything you want to know about Community Day. If it doesn't, don't worry, don't panic. We do post a very detailed FAQ as we lead up. As I said, if you, in your mind, you're thinking, I've got to be there for 10:30. No, you don't. There's no registration. You just walk in the door. We're going to have a very clean system where you go in one way and you come out another. So we will not be able to have everybody in the same room at the same time. I think the comfortable capacity of that area is about 600. So it'll be coming and going. Get out of bed, come down, have some breakfast, do what you got to do, come in when you're ready. So let's move on. We're going to talk about Pom² merch now. Now, there's only a couple things I want to show you today, but I want to talk about loot items. Now, in the months ahead, or actually not months now, it's going to be weeks. As I said, we have very much accelerated our announcements. I just want to show you two of the loot items that are included with certain ticket types. So it's the premium and top tier Ultima. And I want to show you the t-shirt first. I did give patrons a little bit of a sneak peek at this not that long ago. It looks like this. Hope you like it. So the cubed Moogles, bit of a, I guess it should be Pom3, but Pom², the cubed Moogles became quite the hit. So we decided to vectorize the artwork and we've turned it into a beautiful t-shirt. These are really nice t-shirts too. I know that Nikita received them not that long back, and she's going to post a photograph over in the patron updates section on Discord, so you can see one in person. I don't have one here, unfortunately. They're really nice. Those of you who go to KupoCon often know that we typically like to use Gildan t-shirts because they're good quality. This is a soft Gildan shirt, which is nice and light. So it's very summery. It's just a nice lightweight tee, and it's white, so no dyes involved or anything. So it's 2-print color. Really, it's just really cool. I really like it. So I hope you like it as much as I do. We're well stocked. Now, I will say this. If you have a ticket that does not include that, so that's NPC and standard, and you're thinking, I'll pick one up on the day, due to the number of tickets purchased, of premium tiers, etc., unless you've already got a ticket that includes it, you will have a harder time getting this t-shirt. So it will be very much a first come, first serve. So you may wish to consider upgrading to guarantee securing that item. And if that wasn't enough to convince you of maybe going up to the premium tier, check out this. So we took the other cubed Moogle because they're both cool, but we didn't want to not use one. And at one point we were talking about putting both on the t-shirt. We were like, no, we'll put this on the bag. So that's what we've done. We put it on the cotton tote bag, and this is a natural cotton tote, which is really nice. And I think it's the first time we've done a natural cotton tote bag since I want to say Pom² Palace. So it's been some time. So those are the two items that I wanted to show you today. So if you have a premium ticket, these two items are included. And clearly in the top tier as well. Don't worry, we're not cheating you. It's nice to see a bit of yellow Pom for a change, huh? Okay, let's keep pushing forward. Let's talk about the meet and greet. I've been excited to talk about this. Tell me I did good for guests, huh? I told you I wouldn't let you down. And I've said this once, and I'll say it again, and I'll keep saying it until I run out of air. If you buy tickets, I can do amazing things by booking loads of guests. And I've seen some comments, like, oh my God, how am I going to meet everybody? Well, I'm going to go through all that information with you now, and I hope you find it useful. But I think that you're going to be very satisfied with everything that we've put together for this. See somebody asking about a promo card. Yes, there is a promo card for this. I'm not going to be showing it to you today, but I'll be sharing it with patrons soon, and we'll be posting it on social media in the weeks ahead. So yes, 10 guests, really nailed it. And I'm going to say this right now so that you are aware. Do not assume I'm done at 10. I will not guarantee it. I will not guarantee it. I will not say that there are more. I will say that I'm in ongoing discussions that could lead to more. And whatever we announce for meet and greets today will apply to everybody regardless of what happens. So if you pay X amount and I announce somebody else, nothing changes. Okay? So with that in mind, let's talk about those print packs. Now, I've done my absolute best here. I really have. So I hope I hope you can appreciate it. So those of you who are not familiar, KupoCon produces a limited print pack to meet the guests. It's at a heavily reduced cost. I was looking at the costs of meeting guests at an event called Calgary Expo. It's on the other side of the country here, and I was horrified by the cost of meeting people. I was also horrified that they charge different fees even if you want to sit in on the panels for the guests. What the hell is wrong with people? This is not how you do an event. It is not the right approach. It is money grabbing, cattle market crap, and we will not do it. So when we write up contracts for guests, we very politely ask them to agree to do X amount of bundles. So it helps us offset the massive costs of doing these events, because our aim is not to make a profit. It is to break even. If we can do that, we are very happy. So we've tried to make these as affordable as possible. We're still working on the prints. We're keeping it simple. Usually I would show you art prints by now. The reason why I can't is because we've announced so many guests. However, experience has shown us now that most people are not using the prints to get signed. So we've decided to scale back a little bit on that. So what we're going to do is we will provide you with prints. However, it's more likely to be something like a headshot or a small piece of artwork with space for a signature. We're not going out on all unique artwork on this one, because we're starting to realize that it's a huge financial loss for us to produce all these unique commissioned artworks for just one event. So we're not going to do it this time. You'll still receive artwork, but it could most likely be a headshot, or it could be artwork that we already have of the character produced on a nice print. But as I said, most people are tending to use their own stuff, but we're still going to give you an option regardless. So everyone who purchases these bundles, it's still included these prints. Due to the number of guests, we've decided to split it into two. We're doing this for a couple reasons. We want to keep it affordable and we want to keep it relevant. You can probably guess how we've split it, but I'll cover that just in a second. Each bundle is going to cost £60. So that's only £12 a guest. Now, I don't know about you, but I think that's pretty bloody good. I've looked at the costs of meeting guests at events both sides of the Atlantic, and no one even comes close to this. No one even comes close. It is incredibly affordable. Most people charge way, way, way higher than this. I'm very proud of it, and I hope you're as pleased as I am. Now, if you plan to meet 2 or 3 guests from a bundle, and I'll talk about those bundles in just a second, the bundle will be the most cost-effective option. And I put a little star next to that because this is estimated based on the pricing that we've seen at previous events, and it's up to the guests what they charge. Typically, KupoCon pricing is usually much better than anywhere anyway. Usually you'll see guest autographs from say £20 to £40 in that range, which is pretty good. However, it's up to the guest. We don't have control over that. We do certainly try and lead them in the right direction, and usually the guests are very understanding, and they understand that we do this for the community, that it's not for profit, etc., etc. But at the end of the day, it's their livelihood, and we don't have the right to really push them. But you know that we only invite guests who are interested in the community. So if you plan to meet 2 or more, I say 2 or 3, but honestly, if you plan to meet 2 or more guests from a bundle, go for the bundle. Trust me. 1, you're helping KupoCon out because by selling these bundles, we can offset our costs. 2, if there's people on that you don't want to meet, don't use your tokens or give them to somebody who does want them. Pay it forward. But we need to sell the bundles. If we sell the bundles, it means that everything's gone great. We break even. Thumbs up. If we don't, it's so, please, if you do the numbers, plan ahead. I assure you the bundle will work better for you. Right, let's get rid of my face. This is the bundle. So we set the artwork like this on purpose. So the top of the graphic is bundle 1, and we call it the series bundle. The guests at the bottom is the Scions bundle. So if you're not into 14, just not into the whole MMO, but you really should try it because it's really quite good. And they're making it, one player, like single solo player friendly. And this is not an ad. And, Yoshi P doesn't have a gun to my head. But anyway, it's a good game. If you're not interested in 14, you can just go for the series bundle. You've got an opportunity to meet these wonderful individuals, some of which I'm sure some of you may have met before. But that's bundle 1 for series. And then the Scions is below. Now, let's say I announce a guest right now from, I don't know, another Final Fantasy VII remake guest. Let's just say randomly, right? That would obviously go in the series bundle. You will be charged no extra. If I announce the guest, they're going in the bundle, that's the end of it. Congrats, you got an extra signature, and suddenly it goes from £12 to what? £11.50 or whatever it is. If we announce another Scion, surprise, surprise, or anybody really from 14 into that bundle, it would go, no extra charge to you. It could happen. It's unlikely, but never say never. If in the unlikelihood that a guest does drop out, those of you who've been to a KupoCon where that has happened, and I think it's happened once with a bundle, we basically make it so that your voucher is worth X amount of dollars or pounds at the merchandise desk so you don't lose out. I'm not having you lose out just because a guest can't make it. Not cool. Not happening on my watch. So that is the bundles. I think they're fantastic value. I really do. Very, very pleased with these. So let's go over some more specifics. If you plan to buy both print packs, yes, your day's going to be a little bit manic, I won't lie. But there are things you can do to make it smooth. Now, I would never, try and put you off, deter you from buying both. Thank you. The support is appreciated. But we want to make sure that you get to meet everybody and that everything goes smoothly. So if you plan to buy both print packs, please, for the love of Moogles, follow these steps to make the experience as smooth as possible. If you are in London on Friday night, please pre-register. Even if you're not planning to meet the guests, come and pre-register. You've just got to sign up on Patreon. It's like $5, which is like £3. Please, God, listen to me. Do it. We had 180 people register for Glasgow that Friday night. It was fantastic. It made the morning process so easy. So if you come and pre-register on that Friday, if you can pick up your ticket. We'll take care of your community day stuff as well, because we do it all at the same time. We'll give you your print bundle. You've got everything. You can walk straight in that door and you are set to go for the day. No delays. Amazing. Prioritize meeting the guests first. Okay? This is priority number 1. Do not put it off. Look at your schedule. Look at the ticket type that you have. Prioritize. If you're top tier, great. You're going straight over to those guests. We're going to get you through and it's going to be fantastic. If you're a bit further down the chain, no big deal. Check your schedule. Make sure you're ready. Complete static quests while queuing. Now, if you've been to a Kupo before, you'll know that we usually have things like, crosswords and word searches and stuff. Make sure you've got those. There's actually a lot of talk about putting those in the quest log anyway, but if they are on paper, make sure you pick them up, grab them, and have them. So when you're in that lineup, you're working away at quests instead of just wasting time. We've also relocated the tables for the signings so that you can still hear any panels that are taking place. So even though you're in the queue, you can still watch and listen to any panel that might be taking place. So you're not losing out. I think that's a really fantastic addition. I see some questions about accessibility. We're going to touch on that in a second. So hang fire until a little bit later in the episode. It's actually one of the last things I'll cover, but it will talk about accessibility. Focus on quests during community day. If you're going to be there on community day, use the day for the first day for panels and for guest meet and greets. Don't worry about your quests. You've got time. Just make sure you got enough gil to, purchase some tickets for the community panels, etc. But focus on enjoying the experience and do the quest the next day. You've got loads of time. If maybe you're doing the hunts, sure, there's probably going to be a lot more cosplayers on the main day. I can understand doing that, but the rest, I'd save it for day 2. If you have an ultimate ticket, use the time slot. Like I mentioned, use it. It's there for a reason. You paid for it. Make the most of it. Bundles will release on May 31st at 10 a.m. for Ifrit ticket holders. As I previously said, top tier ticket holders will have first dibs. Then general release will be 1 hour later at 11 a.m. An access link will be sent out on May 30th or just before. And if you don't have that link in your inbox, check your spam. This is just for Ifrit. Check your spam. Check everywhere. If you don't see it, email us, support@KupoCon.com. We'll send you the link. After the Ifrit sale has ended, which is 11 a.m., they're just going to appear on the portal out of nowhere. Just refresh it a couple times. They'll be in the additional section next to the evening events and all that. And you'll see Scion's bundle and you'll see Series bundle. There is a possibility that those bundles could sell out to Ifrit ticket holders. It's possible. It's one of the perks of the top tier. If they do, I apologize. I can't help demand, but I do expect them to move quite quickly. So if you are an Ifrit ticket holder, make sure you take advantage of that hour that we've given you. And as I said, general at 11 a.m. Maybe they'll last, maybe they won't. I just don't know. There will be no patron presale because this is not a ticket. So patrons get access to tickets 48 hours in advance, but this is not a ticket. This is a item, so to speak. So there was no pre-sale for patrons. This is local time, BST, yes. Always assume that the time zone is for the venue. It is always based on the venue, not me. So let's move forward. I think that's everything I have to talk about for Pom². I saw a comment there about lineups and saying that they felt that top tier queues didn't work for them. I assure you that they are designed to perfection. If you have top tier and you take advantage of your slot, you will have no difficulty meeting the guests. This isn't our first rodeo. So do use that slot. In fact, actually, the scheduling for this event has been planned so well that I think you will breeze through it. But if you don't have top tier, that doesn't mean the bundle is useless to you. It just means that you need to plan just a little bit more carefully. But our guests, there's been a lot of discussion about how we're going to work it. And I am going to tell you this as a fact, that we've decided that we're going to open up the guest tables again after closing ceremony if there's anybody who hasn't had an opportunity to meet the guests, because that's how important it is to us that you get to meet everyone. So we are going all out, as we always do. Right, let's move forward. It's now time to talk about Pom East. It's quite exciting. Anyway, we move on from Pom². Let's cross over to Pom East. So this beautiful artwork produced by Vivian Lee is such a talent. Now I've got quite a bit of information to share with you today, so we're going to jump right into it. So we're going to cover some of the information that you probably already know, but it's at the Hilton Toronto, December 2nd, 2023. The day event's from 9 a.m. and it finishes at 5:30 p.m. with the evening starting at 7:30 p.m. until about midnight. If we're lucky, they'll let us extend. Sometimes they do. The evening event is the Blazara Winter Ball, and a free gift will be included. When you're thinking of what to wear, think blue, think ice. We are thinking of reintroducing the Dusk Sphere Award. The Dress Sphere is for the best cosplay. We're thinking of introducing the Dusk Sphere again, which we have done at a couple previous events for the best dressed in the evening, not necessarily cosplay, but just matching the theme. So I do believe we're going to be reintroducing the Dusk Sphere Award. And please, do make the effort to get into the zone, the vibe. It doesn't matter if you're cosplaying or not. Throw on a blue tie or a blue shirt. Just feel the energy and make it fit the theme. As I said, a free gift included with every ticket. We've been doing that a lot recently, and you guys seem to appreciate it. There's so much I want to tell you about the evening, but unfortunately those announcements will have to wait. This is the only KupoCon planned in North America for 2023. I said it's the only KupoCon planned for 2023. I'm saying it. I mean it. Stop asking. There are no other KupoCons in North America for 2023. I'm sorry, I don't have the time. I just can't. It's too much. It's too much on me. We can't budget for that. We just can't do it. We need to focus. So we're not doing as many events. We're doing less of them, but we're putting more energy into them, which means maybe we can make them a little bit bigger. So please, use this opportunity. It's going to be a great event. So, I know a lot of people in the US think to themselves, they're like, I don't know, I don't want to cross the border. I don't have a passport. You've got time. I know that a lot of people would rather cross the country in the US to go to an event instead of going across the border. Canada's really friendly, trust me. And they have Tim Hortons, and it's good. I know you do too, but come on, it's Canada. So come on up, come across the country, do whatever you need to do. Join us in Toronto. Very excited to see so many people from the UK crowd flying over for this one. That makes my heart very, very happy. But yes, please come join us. Guests will be announced soon. There are no guest announcements today. There will be very soon. The larger the crowd, the more guests you can expect. I've seen a lot of people tweeting and saying things like, I hope we get all these guests. I hope they invite this person. Why does the UK get all this? It's quite simple. We sell a lot of tickets. We can invite a lot of guests. So if you sell the tickets, we can invite a lot of guests. It's that simple. So please, spread the word of Kupo. Scream it from the rooftops. Do what you need to do. Help us max this crowd out. I'm excited to bring this back to Toronto. The Hilton is such a nice venue. We've got a whole convention floor to ourselves. Somebody asking about health and home medals. Yes, you can pick them up at any event. Yes. Hotel rates. So we have hotel rates for Friday and Saturday night. They are very limited, I will forewarn, and they're $209. If you go check the website right now, the prices for rooms are horrible. So that is a very good rate. Note, please, that that does not include taxes. If you're coming from away and you're not used to taxes being added after the fact, welcome to North America. Tickets are going on sale July 27th at 10 a.m. That's Eastern, yes? So local venue time, 10 a.m. So be ready for it. We're really not sure what to expect. Same as before, it's been a while since we hosted in Toronto a full-scale event. The Pom one, you can't really go by it because the original tickets were sold pre-COVID and then we transferred them over twice. So it's hard to say, but tickets are going on sale July 27th. If you want to secure that top-tier ticket without any kind of concerns or panics or whatever, jump on Patreon. It's $5. It gives you that 48-hour advance. And a huge thank you to all the people that signed up to Patreon for the pre-sale, and not such a thank you to those of you who disappeared. You naughty people. But those of you who stuck with us, thank you. It means a lot. I'm joking. I know that money is tight these days. I know the economy isn't great, but for those of you who did sign up and you stuck with us, and some of you I know who've even upped your tier so you can get boosters, TriPom boosters this month, thank you. I do appreciate it. So let's talk about those ticket types. Now, if you watched the last episode that I did for KupoCast, which was in February, you will know that I made a big speech about tickets and how people said, you've got to put up ticket prices. If you're going to be able to manage it, you've got to put them up for Pom². You can't do the same prices as RetroPom. It's not going to work. You're going to go under. And you know what? I fought tooth and nail to make sure that I was able to keep the prices the same. And I was really proud of that fact. And as hard as I've tried, I really did try. Unfortunately, no, I'm kidding. I kept the prices the same. I haven't changed. They're exactly the same as La Pom because it's important to us that we protect you guys from the craziness that is the economy. The prices have not changed from pre-COVID. I'm not doing it to you. We'll make it work. And I'm hoping that you're going to come in your masses to show us your appreciation. So NPC is your non-playable character ticket. It comes with the regular restrictions. There's no quest log included. You cannot go up to the guests and do the meets and greets. It's really designed for people who are just maybe brand new to Kupo, just want to kind of dip their their toes in, their fingers, whatever, and experience it, but just kind of want to take a step back. Perhaps somebody who's going as a partner who absolutely doesn't care about it, just wants to go and support their friend or whatever, or partner. That's the ticket for you. Standard is $59, and the standard ticket includes the all-important quest log, Garuda, we're calling it. A quest log opens up Kupo to you. It's such a phenomenal item. If you're not familiar with it, I'll touch on it a little later. But you complete quests, you earn gil, you get free merch. It's fantastic. So this is kind of if you want to experience Kupo, but you're on a budget, this is your price point. And it's $10 different. It's really not a lot. Your premium is Odin. It's $99, and alongside your quest log, it comes with a bag and tea. You've already had a quick look at what the bag and tea looked like for our event in London. It will not be the same, but it gives you an idea of what to expect. It's perfect for the full Kupo experience. Shiva is your ultimate ticket, and it's $149. Alongside your quest log and all your regular goodies, you get priority services, VIP badge, reserved seating. It makes a seamless experience meeting the guests, all sorts of great things, just to make the event a very smooth experience. And not only do you get your bag and your t-shirt, you usually get a few extra additional items as well. And as I said, I haven't changed the ticket prices at all. And I'm very proud of that fact. The Blazara Winter Ball will be $25. Look out for further announcements, and the announcements are going to make you very happy. So there are your ticket types. Now, note again, and I bring this up because not everybody's aware, tickets don't include taxes and they don't include Eventbrite fees. That's the one thing I cannot control is Eventbrite fees. They have been going up a lot. I don't like it. In fact, we are thinking of moving on from Eventbrite soon. I plan to schedule a call with them soon to discuss reducing rates because we are a loyal customer. And if they do not, then we shall move on. But we're doing our best to counteract it, but there's only so much we can do. They do provide a good service, but as I said, we don't have control over those fees. So that's what I have for you for Pom East. The ticket information, you have the launch date for when tickets go on sale. The first guest announcement will drop very, very soon. The evening event is going to be something really, really special. I've just seen a question about the Hilton Toronto there. The Hilton Toronto, yes, is the one on Richmond Street. It is a gorgeous venue. They're actually undergoing renovations as we speak, I believe. They'll all be done by the time we get there. And you'll head into the hotel, you head down the escalator, and you'll find the convention floor, and we have the entire floor booked. So if we can max out that venue, then I can bring the guests. So again, it comes down to you guys. If you can come in your masses, then I can deliver. So look out for guest announcement as we go. Let's talk about TriPom. So what do we have for you today? 6.1 will release on May 15th. We've already showed off those cards. I think we showed them off. We showed them off last episode, or some of them anyway, and they're actually shipping out now. So if you were to go onto our store right now, buy an Ultima box, you'd actually be getting 6.1. Technically, we're releasing a little bit early, but who cares? And patrons are going to be receiving 6.1 boosters that are shipping out, I think, Monday. So look out for those. Some really cool cards in the mix. .2 will release at Pom² in September. So a bit of a delay for 6.2, but we thought it was the best time to release it. A huge release. So look out for that. 6.3, surprise, surprise, will release at Pom East in Toronto in December. Both 0.2 and 0.3 are really sizable releases. It's not like 2 or 3 cards. So brace yourself. New official playmat. So this is what our new playmat looks like. Now, as you know, we've released playmats in the past, but we haven't had like sections for the actual card, like, you know, rectangles for the cards. I know it's something that you've asked for. I know that that's just an image, and an image isn't good enough. So I reached down. Oh God, my old 35-year-old back. Anyway, here's the mat. It's a little dark. You probably can't see, but it's nice and subtle. I don't know if my camera's going to adjust to it. You can't really see it, unfortunately, due to the light, but it's a lot brighter than it looks on here. For some reason, it looks very, very dark. It's just my camera adjusting to it. But it's a really nice mat, and it just kind of makes playing seem a little bit more legitimate because you've got an actual board. So those mats are going to be available in the store starting from June 1st. And they're really affordable. I can't recall the exact price off my head. I think they're maybe like $25 or something. They're not a lot. So anyway, and they're machine washable, you know, so they can screw them up, fold them up, whatever. And we're going to do a couple different designs as we go, but this is the design that we're starting with. So it's a really nice mat. Apologies, I couldn't show you very clearly. My camera is adjusting to the light of the room. So that's the mat. I'd like to just kind of give you a little sneak peek at a future TriPom card that we'll release later. We have started working with a new artist, and we've been working with the artist for, I want to say 3 months now. The quality of TriPom cards just gets better and better and better. And I just want you guys to know, who are on Patreon, that we're investing your money wisely to make beauties like this. The cards are just getting like, they're so good. You know, and it's nice to be able to go back and visit characters that we did during like Gen 1. So these are really stunning. We've got over 100 cards right now waiting in the wings to be released. We're producing about 15 cards a month right now. 15 cards worth of art, not actually making the cards, but there's so much money and effort being put into this. So to our patrons, thank you. It does make a difference. We don't just swallow the money on coffee and McDonald's. It's about, putting the money where we need to. Isn't it a beautiful card? And this is one of very, very many that have been done in this beautiful art style. Should we move on? Getting near the end. Time's flying today. Let's talk about the 16 online event. So as you know, we changed from a physical event to an online event. It was a smart move. We're glad that we did that. And we've been able to put together some cool things for it. So if you're unfamiliar, we are going to be hosting a round table of sorts with the cast of Final Fantasy XVI. We've already lined up quite a few people, and we'll be making announcements into June. So June 17th, it will be free to watch on YouTube, just like how you're watching me now. So please do spread the word and join us for that special event. We'll have guests from the game, surprise, and it will be a spoiler-free chat, so don't worry. We may talk about the demo, we may talk about the trailers a little bit and some dialogue from that, but we will not go past that. Online quests. So just like Pom Lines in the past, we're going to have some online content that you can participate in, win prizes, etc. So it'll kind of be a bit of a cross for a Pom Line. Limited edition merch. Should we talk about merch? Ah, yes. there's a coin. And the coin will be free to purchase. Sorry, will be free with a purchase of $50 more. Not free if you have to purchase it. We've produced a really nice coin. If you're familiar with our series of coins, you will know that we released them for the 35th anniversary. And they have the KupoCon logo on one side, and then they have the game number, the year that it was released, and then the characters all around the edge. And we've produced one for this. We already have 1 through 15 already done, and they're available on our store, kupo.shop. But we're giving these away for free with purchases of $50 or more during what we call our event period, which is going to be from June 1st through to the end of the month, because our event's in June. And they will be free, as I said, with $50 purchase or more. That's US dollars. And we have 300 of them. No charge. It's included. But let's look at some of the merch we've actually created for this event, shall we? Let's start with the most epic t-shirt ever. And I was talking to Ben Starr, the voice of Clive, and I showed him the shirt, and he was like, I love this shirt. Like, holy shit, let me buy one. I was like, don't be ridiculous. I actually just sent him one in the mail. And it looks like this. Come to me, Ifrit. It's an epic shirt. We already have them. They're stocked and ready. And again, a graphic isn't good enough. Let's get to the real stuff. Can you see it? It's a really cool shirt. I'm very pleased with this one. And we have quite a few of them. They're ready to go, and they'll be available in our store from June 1st, not beforehand. So if you pick up a shirt, maybe another item, that'll push you over your $50, and then you get the coin, which looks like this. Now I'm going to try and show you the coin. Come on, camera. Can you do it? Oh yeah, there you go. And it comes in a nice little plastic case. See? And then the KupoCon logo on the reverse. Come on, camera, you can do it. Come on. Yeah, there you go. Just a really cool merch item. Now, you probably can't see it, but it has the names of all the characters all the way around the edge. So Joshua, Jill, Torgal. It's really nice, really unique. So quite exciting. So those are 2 of the merch items. We also have 1 more. So we commissioned something, a nice piece of artwork, and we've turned it into a desk mat. And I'm going to try and show it to you, but again, lighting may be tough, so it may be a little bit dark, but can you see this? Hopefully the light isn't spoiling it too much. So we had this beautiful piece of artwork done. It's very like painty-esque and just really light and cool. And it's quite sizable, as you can see. Very, very nice. Again, it looks darker than it actually is. It's quite difficult for me to show you due to the light sources in here. It's nowhere near as dark as it's showing it to be. But yes, very, very pleased with the artwork. And this will be available on our store starting from June 1st. So we have some really cool stuff. And we're working on a few other little things. So those will all be available. Look how bright my camera is now. Stupid software. But anyway, really amazing stuff being released for this event. So please do join us. June 17th. The times to be confirmed. I think we're heading for 8 o'clock UK. I can't recall off the top of my head. Check the video. It may adjust slightly. But we're very excited for it. So please do join us for that free event. And if you appreciate what we do, because we do pay our guests, support us at kupo.shop. Help us offset that expense. And all the costs that we put into these cool merch items. Additional info. Okay. Sorry, drink required. There's quite a bit to cover here, so I'm going to try and blast through it as much as I can. Updates on Australia. Oh, for the love of Moogles. Australia is the biggest headache of my life. So the venue that we want to use, or we were going to use pre-COVID, was a wonderful venue. It was perfect for what we wanted. We went to rebook it after COVID, and now they've decided to go into a major renovation and have closed the hotel for, quote, a year. So now we have to try and find another venue, which is what we've been trying to do. And I am having the hardest time. I have tried every venue in Melbourne. I'm not kidding. I've spoken to so many venues, and they are just being so unreasonable. We're talking, rental fees of 40,000, 50,000 Australian dollars. We cannot do that. So we are trying. I am trying my best, but we are having the hardest time with this one. I don't know what's up with the Australian market. I don't know why they're being like this. So if you're out there and you work for a venue that can house 1,000 people, please email me. But we're going to keep trying. We're still aiming for next year. I'm trying my best. Truly, I am. But I'm doing all I can. I really hope to provide more information by now. It is the biggest headache of my life, I swear. And I've got guests who are like, yeah, let's do it. We want to do it. And I'm like, I know, and I'm trying. I do have a call coming up with another venue. The time zones make it very difficult. Those of you who follow on Patreon and know me a little bit more personally will know that I've been taking phone calls at 11 and 12 o'clock at night, my time, trying to work stuff out. So please bear with me. I'm doing my absolute best. We are on track to release a preview of the Earth Shrine. So that's our Choose Your Own Adventure book, which we've had some great feedback about. I'm glad that you guys are as excited for it as we are. It's written by Micah Rodney. We're confident that we're going to be able to release a preview book of chapters 1 and 2 at Pom² if you're interested. I know it's a bit weird to release a book with 2 chapters, but we think it might be a really nice preview for you. If you are interested, if there's enough interest, then that's what we're going to do. And we still remain very hopeful for release by end of year. Got some beautiful artwork being created for it, and the inside's brilliant. Wait till you see the name of the pub. Oh God, I love that book. So very excited. For those of you not familiar, we're producing a Choose Your Own Adventure series of books, and there will be 4 of them. Watch the last episode for a lot more information. So this is something I really wanted to talk about, and I was talking about how you might not be familiar with Kupo. A lot of the opening ceremony, we spend a lot of time talking about how things work at Kupo. It's all in your quest log, but I kind of feel like it's a waste of time if you're familiar with Kupo. So what we're going to do is we're going to produce a series called Kupo 101. And it's basically a video series that we're going to post on YouTube where we talk about general aspects. Chocobo badges, quest log, Chocolinas, Oakas, Dressphere Award, Nobleman Award, all these kind of things we're going to cover in these short Kupo 101 videos, post them on YouTube. So if you're not familiar with Kupo, watch them. They are so informative. Honest to God, you'll walk in like an absolute pro. Watch them. So they'll be releasing starting next week possibly, or certainly by the end of the month. And the first video we're releasing talks about the Chocobo badges. They're narrated by myself, so apologies for the shitty messed up Canadian/British accent, but I hope you find them useful, and I hope future attendees will find them useful. There's always that, I don't understand this, or this is new, because Kupo is different. So I think it's important that we have this video explaining the basics of what make us unique and, immersive. And a special thanks to our patrons, because, your funding helps make these things possible, and you'll get first look at those just before they go public on our YouTube channel. We've been working on some really cool items. So as I've mentioned about the 16 event, but we're also going to be doing the same for Rebirth, and the merch item that we have that arrived by sea a few days ago is, I think, could possibly be one of the coolest thing we probably produced is that, and that's the Mog's Art vinyl, which I'll be talking about again in a second. But we have a really cool piece of merch. We have part of it, and the other part is being produced now. I can't say any more right now, but trust me when I say we've really nailed this one. we're making some policy changes, focusing on social responsibilities and decorum. This is really important, and I've been wanting to talk about this for a while. A couple weeks ago, after the launch of Pom² tickets and very fast sale, ultimately I knew that KupoCon would one day grow to, I've come to realize that KupoCon would grow to a huge platform, and it has. To sell out the event like we did is phenomenal, and look at all the amazing guests we have. Unfortunately, it is starting to catch the attention of what I like to call some bad eggs, who they just stir, they cause issues, they abuse people online. They're just not good people, and we want to start enforcing a good social responsibility platform prior to the event as well. So we have rules at Kupo, very strict rules on how you should present yourself and talk to others and interact. But we're now going to extend that to online interactions as well. So in short, if we see someone who's being abusive, racist, sexist, whatever they're doing that is just not right, we will make note of it. And if necessary, we will refund, cancel, ban, do whatever we need to do to stop you from doing what you're doing. It's a very small number of people, but it makes my skin crawl, especially when they're, all the things that we do for the community. And then something that I've really hated recently, and someone used the term mob mentality. And I've really noticed that's just a horrible thing, where someone will say something negative with little grounds, and a bunch of people will just all gang up and attack, and it's sickening. So yeah, call us the Kupo police if you want, but if you're going to be antisocial, nasty, vindictive online, don't be surprised if your ticket gets cancelled. Because, obviously we can't control things out of our own domain, but if it's clearly on the Kupo front and you're being abusive, bye-bye. So we're making changes to our policies to make sure that even not just at the event that you're being responsible, but leading up to it as well. We're growing, so we need to recognize that not everybody is a good person, unfortunately. We'll give you the benefit of the doubt, but you got to be good. Changes and advancements to our accessibility policies and procedures. So we already talked about in the last episode about how we were going to make it so that there's a calm period where people who maybe not as able can walk around the market without it being so busy. But we've had a lot of unwritten rules as well about accessibility. So things like, let's say you're in a queue waiting to meet a guest and you can't stand for long periods of time. This is a known fact. It is on our website, but I'm going to just push it out there again and make sure it's very clear that you can tell the volunteer who's attending to the queues that you cannot stand for long periods of time, and they will hold the position for you. They will either offer you a chair, or they will offer to let you take a seat in another location where it's easier to sit, and tell you the time to come back. Of which you would then be in line. So most likely there'll be seating right there, so you can sit down, so you don't have to stand for long periods of time, but you'll be able to meet the guest without straining yourself, and that's very important to us. So these are kind of the things that we're looking at. We've already touched on the fact that we have removed seating for wheelchair users, the calm time in the market. We have our blue badge system, which works incredibly well, the blue Chocobo badge system. So we're making some updates to our accessibility policies and procedures to make sure that the event is not just venue accessible, but is accessible, meaning that we are doing what we can to make it suitable and accommodate you as best we can. Green initiatives. So events like this, they do have an impact on the community, on the world, and I recognize that, and I don't want to impact the world negatively. Naturally, everything you do has an impact, but there are certain things we can do to stop that impact. So things like, from now on, we will no longer put schedules on every seat. and we do that twice, and it ends up wasting thousands of pieces of paper when most people just use their phones. So while we will have schedules available at the desk that you can ask for a paper copy, we won't be spreading them out all over the place. We're going to offer, there will be QR codes around the venue, and there'll be a QR code inside your quest log which will link to relevant information. Little things like that. Instead of giving you multiple cards for your tokens, we're going to give you tearable strips, which saves on more materials. Where able, we're using recycled materials. We do this a lot. In fact, TriPom cards are printed on recycled board now. There's lots of things we're doing to try and, stop the impact that we're having. I know in the grand scale of things, it doesn't make a huge difference, but if everyone did what we're trying to do, it really would make a difference. So we're trying our best to be a little bit more green. Mogsart Volume 2. So Mogsart Volume 1 is over here. I'm going to grab it. Mogsart Volume 1 was a huge success on vinyl. Thank you to everyone who purchased it. We still do have some on our store. I'm pleased to report that the testers for Mogsart Volume 2 were perfect. They were excellent. God, they were so good. And they've now gone into mass production, and we're expecting them on schedule for July. So that's fantastic. They could even turn up before that. As soon as they turn up, we'll ship them straight out. So if you want to go ahead and pre-order that, you can on our website. Well, that's everything. That's all the information I have for you today. If you want to learn more about what KupoCon is, you can go to KupoCon.com, go to our Facebook page, facebook.com/KupoConEN, Twitter.com/KupoConEN. Our Twitter's really active. Facebook, we just keep it to the base announcements. If you want to support us, because we do a lot of work, Kupo.shop, which has a giant range of goodies. And if you really want to get behind us, our Patreon is patreon.com/KupoCon. Or if you want to get in the chitty chatty mood, we have an amazing Discord, discord.gg/KupoCon. We have a great board over there where you can introduce yourself, tell us all about you. It's just a great way to meet people. If you have any questions or whatnot, I would suggest heading over to the Discord or posting it in the community group rather than me holding up this the stream here, because it does take quite a while to come through. But if you do have any questions, we'll do our best to answer them. Post them in the community group on Facebook or on Discord, or tweet us. Whatever you need to do to get in touch with us, do so. Thank you for your time. Hopefully I didn't ramble too much. It's been really nice to hang out with you all. And yeah, enjoy the rest of your Sunday. There probably won't be another KupoCast now until after Pom², but that doesn't mean the announcements are done with. There's a lot of information to share between now and the event. So again, thank you. Support, massively appreciated, always is. I'm still really working round the clock here. I was going to say something else then. I'm working round the clock to try and make Kupo special. And I thank you for coming along on this journey with me. Thanks to the mods. Thanks to the community. Take care. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.